Hey, this is Motion Worker, and Lenny Bruce and I want you to know that you're watching Portable Universe.
Welcome back to Portable Universe. I'm your host David Witham, and we're back on the air here at PadNet. Really glad to be so. We've got a great episode for you today. It's an episode in 3 acts. The first act is a string quartet, none other than the Eclipse Quartet from right here in Southern California. They're a great ensemble that's devoted to the music of the 20th and the 21st century. Today they're going to take on a piece that was written in 1932 by a Mexican composer named Silvestre Revueltas. It was his quartet number 4, and the subtitle is Musica de Feria, which means Music of the Fair. Revueltas was known as the great free spirit of Mexican music. He wasn't around long, only 50 years, but he was very productive. Mostly in the last 10 years of his life, he wrote nearly 40 works, including 6 for full orchestra and 8 film scores. The quartet today is very interesting. It's one movement, but it's kind of divided into 4 sections, so it feels like it has 4 movements. And it's described as Bartokian in nature, after the great composer Bela Bartok. It's a very interesting piece, and Eclipse plays it incredibly well, as they always do. So let's check out their performance. The Eclipse Quartet and the music of Silvestre Revueltas. Next, we're going to take a trip in a time machine. We're going to go back to the year 2004. We're going to go to downtown LA, the corner of Olympic and Hope Streets, where the Museum of Neon Art was located at the time. It's a great space, and we went down to cover an exhibition opening entitled Evolving Light. And you'll get a look at some really great neon artwork from world-renowned artists and just get a vibe for the whole deal. And we also use this as an excuse to let you know that the Museum of Neon Art is reopening in downtown Glendale coming up here very soon in 2016. And you can check in on their progress at their website, neonmona.org. And if you really like it, you can make a tax-deductible donation to the Museum of Neon Art, and I'm sure they'll welcome it. They're a great organization. We've been affiliated with them since 1999, and we always wish them the best, and we want to show you a little bit of their world. Here it is, Evolving Light. For Act 3 of the show today, we have our good friend MOCEAN WORKER, who dropped by the studio the other day. He's going to offer up a preview of his new record, the self-titled MOCEAN WORKER, and offer a little bit of insight into his creative process. Lord knows he was creating a lot on this one. He wrote all the songs, produced, played every instrument, and the result is a funky good time of some just really danceable, fun to listen to stuff. You'll hear it in the background as he describes this creative process. So without any further ado, I'm going to turn it over to him, the great MOCEAN WORKER. We're here in the studio today with MOCEAN WORKER, who's got a new record coming out on iTunes in a couple of weeks.
This record comes out August 18th. Actually on more than iTunes. It comes out on all digital formats August 18th. And it's just self-entitled. It's just MOCEAN WORKER. It's like a return kind of to my roots as a musician. And I'm excited about it because I play a lot of, I'm holding a bass, which is so weird, but I play a lot of bass on it. And it's my funkiest record, if that makes any sense, because I know like the records are kind of funky to begin with, but it's more rooted in like sort of like 80s, 70s and 80s, like, Zap and the Gap Band and like Chic. It has more of that kind of vibe to it than the last three. I wanted to get more of a just MOCEAN WORKER. And there's no guests on this record, so that's also very much unlike the last three records, which are just riddled with guests. This one I did everything myself. I mean, there's literally like, there is one guest and he says 3 words. Working in the studio without the feedback of other people and guests on the record is kind of cool. It's how I started off doing this and how I started off learning about how to write music and how to use all the software and technology to make my music. So this was kind of refreshing actually this time, because I'm so used to like getting tracks to a certain position and then waiting for someone to sort of add to it. This record was about, not just doing everything because like, oh, I want to make this a challenge. It was more doing everything because I didn't want to rely on someone to like bring that thing to a track to finish it. I wanted to be able to do everything myself. It's like, it's not a control issue either. It was more like, what did this used to feel like when I just had like a sampler and a DAT machine and like I just had to do everything. And I think in a weird way, that's why I channeled more of my, like I'd never played bass on any of my stuff. I mean, I have this background as a bass player, and any fans of mine would never even really know. I think I played bass on two tracks on the last 7 records. Chicka Boom I played bass on because I was like, my father did the intro. Fathead Newman was, taking a sax solo, and I was like, yo, I need to jump in there. I want to like round this out. But I had some writer's block, and I think, you do get as a writer and an arranger and an artist, you do get in these ruts, and like this will sound odd. I put a little more responsibility on myself, and it kick-started me. Like I didn't want to wait for like a Bill Frisell to get me a part back to then chop it up to create something. Like I was like, no, you can do that. You can do that on your own, and maybe something really special will come out of that if you challenge yourself. So the really, really hard work for me on this record was the fact that I mixed it myself. Mixing it is a huge function, especially in electronic music, of writing it as well. The entire sound is the composition. It's weird. It's hard to explain because actually when I talk to musicians, sometimes they don't really get that. They think, well, no, you write a song and there's chords and there's a melody. And I'm like, well, in electronic music, the sound is a huge component too. That's why there are certain producers that are really successful. They have a sound. So I think this time out, I really tried to find like a sort of a new signature kind of Molo sound. Playing bass and engineering and like mixing really challenged me. It actually made this record take a year. It took a year longer than it needed to. I still feel like I make dance music for people who kind of still want to stay home. It's like I make dance music for shut-ins, or dance music for people who hate partying. I want to DJ and play at the same time, or have some sort of playing elements because it's fun. Because I think that people in that world, if they're exposed to a certain kind of playing along with records at the same time, will just be like, yo, that is sick. That's just really funky and fun and just a good time. You know, anybody out there that's already a fan of my stuff, I mean, I hope you just, you know, you check out the record and just really enjoy it, because it's still the same thing. It's just a little funkier. You know, like I took all the last 3 records and I figured out what I loved the most about them, and I dialed down some stuff and I brought in other things that you haven't heard before. And I think the sign of an artist really sort of progressing and evolving is their willingness to try new things and expose new parts of their personality. Like, I'm just bringing back, like, this is the record that like an 18-year-old me would want to make. You know what I mean? Like, just funky and grooving, you know? So yeah, I hope you dig it.
Well, that's it for this episode of Portable Universe. Tune in next time, because you never know what's going to be happening here. And in the meantime, check us out on the web. Like us on Facebook. Check out our YouTube page, DaveBaby9000, all one word. And go to our webpage, portableuniverse.tv. And I urge you to heed Wayne Brady's advice when he tells you,
there's a portable universe inside your dome. Always take it with you when you leave home. That means your brain, fool.
We'll see you next time.
There's a portable universe inside your dome. Always take it with you when you leave home. Coming soon on PadNet Public Access Television. Portable Universe, documenting arts, culture, curiosities, and the people that create them, right here in Long Beach and beyond. Portable Universe. Tune in and stay tuned.